सत्संगतिं सदनुगेषु च मित्रभावं भक्तिं च बोधदिषणाद्यगदं ददानं संसाररोगविनिवारणवैद्यनाथम् आनन्दमात्मरमणं शरणं प्रपद्ये।
ओम नमः परमर्षिभ्यो नमः परमर्षिभ्यः। हरि ओम। उपासकानां यदुपासनीयम् उपात्तवासं वटशाखिमूले तद्धाम दाक्षिण्यजुषा स्वमूर्त्यां जागर्तु चित्ते मम बोधरूपम् अद्राक्षम् अक्षीणदयानिधानम् आचार्यम् आद्यं वटमूलभागे मौनेन मन्दस्मितभूषितेन महर्षिलोकस्य तमोनुदन्तम् विद्राविताशेषतमोगणेन मुद्राविशेषेण मुहुर्मुनीनां निरस्य मायां दयया विधत्ते देवो महान् तत्त्वमसीति बोधम्। ममाद्य देवो वटमूलवासी कृपाविशेषात्कृतसन्निधानः ओङ्काररूपाम् उपदिश्य विद्याम् आविद्यगध्वान्तम् अपाकरोतु। अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतु नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयम्। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचम् इमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। अवधूत गीता। घटे भिन्ने घटाकाशं सुलीनं भेदवर्जितं शिवेन मनसा शुद्धो न भेदः प्रतिभाति मे। When the pot is broken, the pot space becomes completely one with the undifferentiated space. So also when the mind becomes purified by jnana, it is one with the supreme beatitude Shiva. न घटो न घटाकाशः न जीवो जीवविग्रहः kevalam brahma samvidhi vedya vedagavarjitam. Distinctions such as a jar and jar space, individual body and individual soul, do not exist in Brahman. Realize that absolute Brahman, which neither is knowable nor can be made known. Sarvatra sarvada sarvam atmanam satatam dhruvam sarvam shunyam ashunyam cha tanmam vidhi na samshayaha. The self exists always, everywhere, and in everything. It is eternal and unchanging. Everything in this world is shunya, and again it is filled with the Purna. Realize I am that Atman. Do not doubt this. Yada nritamidam sarvam dehadi gaganopamam tadahi brahma samvetti nate dvaita paramparam. When everything here, including the body, becomes unreal and appears to you like the infinite space, then truly you realize Brahman. Then there is no longer any parade of dualities for you. Parena sahajatma bhyabhinna pratibhati me vyomakaram tathaivaikam dhyata dhyanam katham bhavet. It appears to me that my innate self and the Supreme Self are truly identical and exactly like one continuous space. How can there be a meditator and meditation? Yat karomi, yadashnami, yad juhomi, dadami, yat etat sarvam name kinjit vishuddhoham ajo vyaya. Whatever I do, whatever I eat, whatever I offer in sacrifice, and whatever I give away, none of these belong to me. I am ever pure, unborn, and immutable. Om. So yesterday we saw the 34th verse. The self always shines forth directly, immediate as our very nature. It is experienced by all. The Upanishad says, Sarvanubhuhu, the experience of everyone. And yet, to get the benefit of realization, the intellect, the mind, the senses, all must be withdrawn towards that. The mind must be made to abide in that stillness. So when we try to quieten the mind, yoga chittavritti nirodha, yoga chittavritti nirodha. tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. When the thoughts cease to operate, when the mind, the intellect comes to a rest, when the senses are all orderly, nowhere no distraction, tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam, then the seer abides in his real nature. To make this abidance possible, it is nididhyasanam, as Vedanta calls it, nididhyasana. First you listen, then you contemplate, then you practice this withdrawal of the mind from all outer distractions, and train yourself to make it abide in the heart. When this effort is going on, you can call it sadhana, you can call it this withdrawal. It's a very beautiful term in Gita and in also Yoga Sutra. It is samyama. Perfectly withdrawing from where it came out to the same source it is withdrawn. Udikkum idathil odungi iruttal. That is what Bhagavan says. The place where it comes out, emerges, to the same source, it returns back and merges. When that effort is being put, then and only then we find the obstacles, pradibandha. Generally, Bhagavan never speaks about obstacles, very rarely. He says you can realize wherever you are. Generally, in the tradition, great care is being taken to give up the obstacles. Like the prerequisites, viveka, vairagya, shama, dhamma, etc. And outer sannyasa. These are all efforts to wriggle out of the chains of ignorance or old habits. Bhagavan says, what are the obstacles for realization? Bhagavan's answer is mental habits, memories, imagination. These are the obstacles. Many mental habits, old memories, imagination, these things distract the attention. And there are certain things outside also which possess you, which makes dhyana impossible. Many things. Sometimes we are addicted to small habits. Some food habit, or somebody is talking something in interest to listen. And of course, mobile, the great distraction that our modern technology has bestowed on us. Wherever you go, that distraction follows you. You can go to Guha, Kailas, Anywhere, it has a range there. Maya's range you cannot escape. So, these kind of distractions are there which possess you. And yesterday Bhagavan said about too much reading, unnecessarily equipping yourself with too much intellectual knowledge. That also Bhagavan said as an obstruction to dhyana. We have to very much remember, because there is a beautiful question here today. Somebody has asked actually yesterday that then is reading a real obstacle? I am finding reading as good meditation. That's a good doubt. Is reading an obstacle to that silence? Because I am finding reading as very meditative. True. Reading is not always an obstacle. That is why yesterday itself we have clarified this. Reading, Sharat Chandra Chakrabarti, one of the disciples of Swami Vivekananda, asked, what books should we read? He said, only books written by realized souls. Whoever may be. That is the problem mainly with magazines. So, when you focus only on, that is why traditionally we stick to scriptures, authentic scriptures. When you stick to that, it is the direct realization of a sage. Then that is a meditation. We call it Swadhyaya. In fact, Patanjali puts it as one of the chief spiritual practice. Tapa Swadhyaya. Austerity and daily meditative reading of the scriptures. So it is not a distraction. But going on reading this after that, so many books. And the brain is always itching. Doubt, memory, imagination, oscillation. We have to see. When we read whether the mind becomes meditative, then okay. Nothing wrong. If by reading the brain is heated, doubts are created, distraction happens, then that kind of reading is an obstacle. That kind of learning, Bhagavan says, this Bhagavan himself has answered in talks. Somebody is asking where he says, only that kind of study, that kind of learning is despised. Otherwise, good learning is also an austerity. It is a tapasya. The mind becomes one-pointed, focused. So, sometimes it becomes the part of ego. Read, I have read this book, that book. There is a funny shloka in Sanskrit. If you are in a scholarly place where scholars are there to listen, tell them the name of new books. They will appreciate you. Because the books that they have not read, if you tell them, they will be afraid. Because, we have to read that book. And there is a story that Tenali Raman, one of the comedian, he gave out books which does not exist. And thus he conquered a big scholar, great scholar. So, about that Bhagavan says, it is like family bondage. The person is having books as his family. So many books in his mind. So this is yogattaḍaiyā. This is the obstacle to yoga. So what is the secret? Yoga. Bhakti yoga. Jnana yoga. Raja yoga. Karma yoga. Everything can become yoga. In fact, Bhagavad Gita, there is one yoga, depression yoga. Vishada yoga. Sometimes, when a person gets into deep sorrow, that sorrow becomes a stepping stone for him to spiritual life. Then sorrow becomes yoga. Anything that turns you towards God is yoga. Bhagavata, the well-known scripture, the great king Parikshit, for him, death became a yoga. And the curse given by a sage that on the 7th day you will die. When he heard this, great dispassion arose within him, and with great gratitude, the king says, the sage has not cursed me, he has blessed me. Without that curse, I would not have become absolutely free. I was holding to this ruling as a king. Now I know that this is all impermanent, transient, unreal. So it is not curse that he gave me Brahmajnana. Nirveda mulo dvijashapa rupaha. That dvijashapa, that Brahmana shapa became a cause for vairagya, dispassion. And so that became a great anugraha for me. So you can utilize anything, but be on the caution. Let not anything become an obstacle to your spiritual realization or your yoga sthiti. Bhagavata, Rishabhadeva says, if mother becomes an obstacle to you, give up mother. If father becomes an obstacle to you, give up father. If husband becomes an obstacle, give up. If wife becomes an obstacle, give up. And at last says, if your guru becomes an obstacle, give him up. Nothing should be an obstacle to you to abide in your real nature. Guru na sasyat, swajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janani na sasyat, daivam na tatsyat, na patishcha sasyat, na mochayedya samupeta mrityum. Death is there to swallow you, and if a guru cannot rescue you, he is not guru. And if a god cannot rescue you, he is not a god. That is also there. Daivam na tatsyat. And the essence of that shloka is, don't hold on to anything outside. Anything that you hold on, one day or the other, will leave you, giving you immense pain. This is a rule. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya tells, this is a rule. Whatever you hold on to, other than the self, will one day leave you. Mother will leave, father will leave, children will leave, brothers will leave, our own physical body health will leave, wealth will leave, outward places to which we depend upon will leave, friends will leave, all the spiritual states will leave. Will leave. They will come, you will think that they have come to stay. No, they will leave. Because you have to find that which will not come and go, which is the eternal, which is the true. When you recognize it in your being, which is timeless, in fact, you yourself will live. The I will live. So that which will not move, that which is not temporary, when you find, then that is true yoga. So that is the essence of this shloka. And next shloka, these are all miscellaneous shlokas, where Bhagavan says about ezhuthu. Ezhuthu means literacy. When a person is learned, what is the purpose of learning? In Sanskrit, an alphabet is called aksharam. But really, aksharam means the imperishable, that which will not die. Naksharati iti aksharam. So when you learn aksharam, alphabet, you should know that aksharam, which is imperishable. One day, people, they used to take some book to Bhagavan and ask Bhagavan to explain to them. And Bhagavan sometimes will make corrections in their book. So devotees, they felt, we will get Bhagavan's handwriting. So even Kunjuswami told, we will make mistake in our writing and take the notebook to Bhagavan, so that Bhagavan will correct them. Bhagavan will make corrections in the book. For that, they will take the notebook. So, seeing this, one child one day took his notebook to Bhagavan and said, Bhagavan, write something. Bhagavan asked, what should I write? Yadavadu, anything. At least one aksharam, one letter at least you write. Then Bhagavan wrote a verse, a shloka. Ekam aksharam hridi nirantaram bhasate swayam likhyate katham. Very beautiful shloka. Ekam aksharam, that one non-dual truth, is shining in the heart, shining forth in the heart incessantly, uninterruptedly. How to write it? It cannot be written. It is ever shining in the heart. Ekam aksharam hridi, in the heart, nirantaram, uninterruptedly, incessantly, bhasate, it shines. Likhyate katham, how to write? This shloka Bhagavan wrote there. So, when writing, அதுவும் உள்ளது அனுபந்தத்தில் இருக்கும். இல்லை ஏகம் அக்ஷரம் இல்லையா? எதுலேயோ இருக்கு அது. Parayana it is there. Tamil also. எதுலையும் டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணிக்கலையே நான் பண்ணினா தெரியலையா? எழுத்து அறிந்த தாம் பிறந்தது எங்கே என்று எண்ணி எழுத்தை தொலைக்க எண்ணாதோர் எழுத்து அறிந்து எண். You are learned, okay. By your learning, you should erase your தலையில எழுத்து, head writing. It's a usage in Tamil, no? Destiny. Your, as we said, even prarabdha is not there for jnani. Like that, your prarabdha, you can change. People ask whether there is free will or destiny. Absolute free will is there. Absolute free will. You can become absolutely free. In fact, you have so much free will to become free of will. To go beyond will. Anything is possible. Sarvada sarvameveha samsare raghunandana samyak prayuktat sarvena paurushat samavapyate. Yoga Vasishta begins with that. Vasishta says to Rama, "Oh Rama, sarvada, always, sarvam, everything, samsare, in this world, hey Rama, Raghunandana, samyak prayuktat." In the authentic way you can employ, in the right way you can employ paurushat, with will, samavapyate, you can attain. How much confidence it gives, no? So anything is possible. You can become absolutely free if you decide. No prarabdha, no destiny can anywhere put any obstacle on your life. It might take time because that much of will is not there. So it might take time to find fruition. Yat kratuhu, yat sankalpaha, as the Upanishad says, according to the sankalpa, he will do karma and he will attain whatever his sankalpa is. That is the law. Sometimes, perhaps, not this birth, next birth, but you will attain. If you want to fly, you can fly. Have so much sankalpa. That is how this aircraft, all these things are found out. First it came as will, as imagination, as desire. Then they attained. Fly, go out of the space, anywhere. No, I have to fly. You can fly. Next birth. Though so much of sankalpa, next birth you will be born with wings. You can fly. I want to go inside the ocean. You can. You will be born as a fish. Anything is possible. So much of sankalpa is there, you can remove all sankalpas also. Sankalpatyaga can be done and become absolutely free. Any devata you can become. So this is, here Bhagavan says, the power of knowledge is to remove destiny. If you are not able to remove destiny by the power of knowledge, what is the use of that knowledge? Ezhuthu arindu en. Don't ever succumb to destiny. Bhagavan utilized the law of destiny to give peace to his mother. When he said, whatever is destined to happen will happen. Whatever you may do, nothing can be done. A force, a power, higher power is doing things. So you surrender. That is about Bhagavan sannyasa. Because Bhagavan, with all his will, renounced and came. And when mother asked, he gave this law for that which already had happened. Otherwise, if everything is destiny, Bhagavan would not have given even who am I. He would not have taught you, inquire, find out. If I am destined to do who am I, it will happen. Sarvada sarvame. See, you have choice to be a prophet of destiny or prophet of free will. Whenever the philosophy of destiny gives you peace, become a prophet of destiny. What to do? That was destined to happen. Attain peace. So with your will you attain peace. It's not about philosophy. You are the truth. There is nothing called destiny or free will. Ultimately, neither free will exists nor destiny exists. Na vidhihi naiva yatnaha. This is Bhagavan's teaching. Don't misinterpret Bhagavan's teaching as teaching of destiny. No. There is no jiva. When you say destiny or free will, whose destiny, whose free will? Who is having destiny, who is having free will? Me. Who is this me? Unreal. So neither destiny exists nor free will exists. The eternally free Nitya Mukta alone is there. So don't bring in all these weakening philosophies into your life. Utilize these philosophies whenever needed to bring your mind to Swarupa. Vidhi Madi Vellum Vivadam. In uḷḷadu Bhagavan gives the declaration. He says, neither Vidhi exists nor Madi exists. Only Atma exists. Only peace exists. That is why recently one boy came here. He said, I have learned astrology very much. So after listening Swami, now I don't feel like practicing astrology. I want to give up astrology. And I told him, it is a very good science. It is also an anga of Veda. You can practice. Through that also you can give peace to people. When the chart says such and such problems are there in life, never tell anything negative. So there is a Shastra which says, two people should never. In fact, even a guru also belongs to same category. But especially in the world, neither the astrologer nor a doctor should say negative things. Because whenever a patient goes to a doctor, he goes with immense faith. And whenever a person goes to an astrologer also, he goes with great faith. So these two people, if they say anything negative, it will directly go inside. So I have seen great scholars, they will never utter anything negative. They will say all will be right, all will be right. These problems are there, but it's all minor problems. You chant this nama. You chant this mantra. You read this book, go to this temple, do that, slowly, whether the Saturn works or Mars works, they will become spiritual. It will help them to turn towards God. So that is the benefit. So use that science to turn the mind towards God. Like that is medical science also. I know many doctors who formerly the CDs were there. I know a doctor in Cochin, whether he prescribes medicine or not, he will give a CD. Go and listen to this. So many have come by his way. So somehow turn them towards Bhagavan Bhakti, Jnanam, like that. Bhagavan Nama Japa, like that. So all this can, if you utilize it in the right way. There is a barber, by going to his barber shop, many people have become spiritual. While doing his work, he will put on all these talks and everything. They cannot move. Make them sit in meditation and make them listen. So anything can become spiritual. Anything can turn you towards God. So, எழுத்து அறிந்த தாம் பிறந்தது எங்கே என்று எண்ணி. When a person who is deeply learned enquires within, who is this I, who is this me, who knows all these things, who is the reader? எழுத்தை தொலைக்க எண்ணாதோர். So, the power of knowledge is to make you free. If that way it is not working, you are taking some medicine, no use means what? People, generally we say, everyone is a doctor for others. Whatever disease they are, that's why people like us, we should never reveal any problem. Because all of you become doctors means, what is my condition? Sometimes, everyone brings some medicine. And that is a great risk. Sometimes people will bring some medicine and I will say no. You take, recently somebody brought some Ayurveda medicine. See, it will not do you anything. You can take. If it is not doing anything, why should I take? Like that. If the reading is not going to do anything to you, what is the use of reading? When you study adhiti, bodha, acharana, pracharana. When you study, the learning has to remove your limitations. It should give you great power of freedom, not simply education. It just gives you tremendous joy, true will, peace. Otherwise, Sattam kol endirattin shalbu utrar, Shonagiri vittagane verar vilambu. O Lord of Shonagiri, the great scholar, Arunachala is the great scholar. Bhagavan calls Arunachala as Shonagiri Vittagan. He is the great Pandita, Vidwan. O Shonagiri Vittaka, what are these people? Perhaps Bhagavan saw so many of them like that. Seeing them, Bhagavan is expressing Shattangol in Yandiram. Tape recorders. Blah blah blah. That is what we in English we say, no? Recently when Swamiji came here, from Uttarakashi, he was a Sampradaya Dandi Sannyasi. And he came from Chennai here. I asked him, how did you come, Swamiji? He said, I came in blah blah car. Taxi. A new thing is there, blah blah taxi. I don't know whether you have gone. He says, anybody can join you and on the way, what? Blah blah. So he enjoyed it thoroughly. He said all of them were speaking and joking and all these things. That is what samsara is. Malayalam, samsara means blah blah. Malayalam, samsara means talking. So, Shattangolyandiram, Bhagavan says, this mere scholarship, not even, actually it is not scholarship. Really scholarship means the knowledge must be absorbed. True scholars will be very, very silent, and the knowledge will have great impact in them. Otherwise, they are mere Shattangol Yendirathin Shalbu. They are mere tape recorders. Nothing else. So this is the verse, and 36th verse. I think 4 more verses. Yeah. கற்றும் அடங்காரில் கல்லாதாரே உய்ந்தார், பற்றும் மதப்பேயின் பால் உய்ந்தார், சுற்றுபல சிந்தை வாய் நோய் உய்ந்தார், சீர் தேடி ஓடல் உய்ந்தார், உய்ந்தது ஒன்று அன்று உணர். Very beautiful verse. See, interestingly, many of these realized souls, they were all school dropouts. Run away from school, not good in studies. Especially most of them were 0 in maths. Many of them. There were exceptions like Swami Ramatirtha. They were all great mathematicians. Or KVS used to say, 1 is okay, 2 is too complex. Yes. Bhagavan, when he ran away from Madurai and came to Thiruvannamalai, after some years when he became well known, one of his former school teacher came here. Having heard Bhagavan's name, he came here. And then he said, Bhagavan, I want to ask you a doubt. Bhagavan said, afraid of your question, I ran away from Madurai to Thiruvannamalai, and now you come here and ask me questions. So, there are many stories like this, like Ramakrishna's life. So here in this song, Bhagavan says, Karkal, study, Kattrum Adangar, Kalvi. Kalvi in Tamil means study, learning. And the purpose of learning is the person has to find அடங்கிறதுக்கு என்ன சொல்றது அழகான வார்த்தை இங்கிலீஷ்ல subsiding, that is the word that came. Submit means somebody should be there. நமக்கு അങ്ങനെ അല്ലല്ലോ അടക്കം, great discipline comes. That is why, in Sanskrit the student is called shishya. Shishya means disciple. It's a good word. One who is ready to submit to an intelligent teacher, or he is ready to submit, that's intelligently submitting, surrendering. The master, what he says is for my good. Hitachintaka, that is the word in Sanskrit. Hitachintaka. He thinks about my good, my well-being. then the person is ready to submit. In that way, submitting to a higher power, higher intelligence is shiksha. It is called shiksha. Then the person becomes a disciplined one, disciple. If that disciplehood is not coming, learning is useless. Kattrum adangaril, even after learning so much, the person has not become humble. The real humbleness has not come. I don't want to say humility. That mildness has not come. That calmness, freedom from arrogance has not come. Then the learning is not effective. The therapy has not worked. So the learning is really a good therapy, by which, after learning so much, the person understands that actually I do not know. Nirvedam, that is the term. No? The person becomes, he understands that the absolute, the whole, cannot be caught by limited intellect. Then real submission happens to a master. Nirvedamayat nasti akritah kritena. The unborn, the birthless, the whole cannot be known by doing. Then the person submits. Tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva abhigachet. He goes to the guru. Samitpanihi shrotriyam brahmanishtam. The knower of the self, who is abiding in that brahmanishta. To him he goes. So, if the learned person has not found that inner calmness, far better is the illiterate one. Mostly, many great beings, I have seen so many acharyas, they always feel comfortable with simpletons around them. They feel comfortable there. Kanchi Paramacharya, he always used to keep such people around him. Because, I don't know whether they are bored with scholars. Dialectics. One devotee was with him, he will translate many things, because in his old age, he had little hearing problem. So this devotee will translate. He was so illiterate, but great devotee. One person came to Paramacharya and said, by your blessing, I want transfer to my town. Paramacharya asked, what is he asking? He asked what? He said transfer. He said cancer. Then Swami said, Ennada solre, what are you saying? Really, what? Enquire. And that person was shivering, because if Guru says like this, what will happen? So actually it is not that. They feel comfortable when those who are around are also very calm, quiet. So learning has to bring that quality in the person. If that is not forthcoming, then illiterates, ignorant people are much better. Although they are not learned, At least they will have that humility that we do not know. Patrum madappeyin palu indar. Those who are unlettered are saved from the clutches of the demon of pride. Oh, I have studied this, I have studied that. There is a famous story of Ramakrishna that some people were crossing Ganga river in a boat, in a rowing boat. It is a small raft actually. So the boatman who was rowing. So to him, a big scholar. The scholar is always itching to express his scholarship. So he asked everyone there, have you studied grammar, Vyakarana? They said, no. Oh, your life, quarter of your life is gone. And then he asked, have you studied logistics, logic, Nyaya Shastra? He said, no. Half of your life is gone. Then he asked some other field of knowledge, many things. He said, 3/4 is gone. Then suddenly a big storm broke. And there was, the boat was shaking. Then the boatman asked, to this great Pandit, oh Pandit ji, aapko tairna aata hai? Asked, will you swim? He said, no, I cannot swim. Full life is gone. He said, whole life is gone. Full life is gone. He said. So, then the purpose of this knowledge is to swim. We should be able to swim to the other bank. Satarati, satarati, anyana pitarayati. He crosses, he goes to the other, he knows the other shore and he can take others also to the other shore. Satarati, satarati, anyana pitarayati. That kind of power. So, tīrnāha svayam bhīma bhavarnavam ahetuna anyana pitarayantaha. They have crossed this terrible ocean of samsara, suffering, and without any expectation, by pure love, compassion, they make others also cross. So that is the real sign of true learning, knowledge, true panditya. So, katrum adangaril, if the person after knowledge of the scripture has not attained samadhi, true samadhi, the real rest in his self, if that has not happened, if that Brahma Vishranti has not come, Vidyaranya Swami says in Jivan Mukti Viveka, he says, there are people who know the truth. Clarity is there. But if Vishranti is not there, if inner rest has not come, they will not have the joy of that knowledge. They need not be simple scholars. They are genuine spiritual seekers. They have learned books very well. Many people are there like that. They have great clarity. They can teach others. They enjoy that knowledge, but still have not found the true inner rest. That samadhi has not happened. I am deliberately using the word samadhi because I know there are branches in Vedanta where they say you don't need samadhi. You don't need samadhi. But the knowledge of the self brings in its power a kind of samadhi. It's not the samadhi of the yogi. It is the brain becomes quiet. Yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasa saha buddhischana vicheshtate tamahu paramam gatim tam yogamiti manyante sthiram indriya dharanam apramattastada bhavati yogo hi prabhavapyayo, as the Kathopanishad says. The true yoga is where the person apramatta, no more he falls, slips. There is no more slip from that state. Then the senses are in order, the mind is in rest, the brain finds great quietude. It attains great stillness within. Such is the sacred temple of a enlightened being's body. So that if that person has not attained that kind of rest in his heart, then his education, his learning, his scholarship of Vedanta also has not found fruition, fulfillment. So naturally he himself might feel, oh, these normal people are much better than me. They are at least able to laugh. They are joyful. They are peaceful. It's all anyway like mirage. So sannyasis will look at the grihasthas and say they are happy. And this grihastha is looking at the sannyasi and thinks they are happy. In essence, you should not look at others. You should look at yourself. You should see your own self and find rest there. Your inner soul should tell you that you are peaceful. No amount of others telling you will do. Your own heart should tell you that you have found true joy, true ananda, shanti. So, if that is not there, this learning, illiterate people are much better because they are free from arrogance. Shutrupala chindai vai noyu indar. They are saved from many diseases. The greatest disease Bhagavan says is whirling mind and speech. The oscillation of mind, distraction, chitta vikshepa. The mind is constantly running. From that they are free. Sheer thedi odalu indar. I have learned so much. So I do not get so much pay here. Where will I get more pay? Where will I get more money? Oh, if I go to United States, I will get more money. Even sannyasis are doing that. You teach in India, people say, you have learned so much, why don't you teach to all these villagers here? No. I go to America and speak there, I will get more pay. In Tamil, pay means ghost. Pay. Shutrupala mada payin balu indar. Your Bhagavan uses the word pay. So, Shutrupala chindai vai noyu indar. Chindai, too much thinking, thoughts. Because of learning thoughts, that is a noi. Bhagavan says that is a sickness. Some syndrome. Some phobia, mania, something. Some problem. The mind is as if bitten by hornets. There is great swarm of thoughts inside. Sheer thedi odalu indar. In search of money, wealth, they go here, there. Uindadu oṉṭṟu. These unlettered people have escaped not from one or two things, they have escaped from many things. They know how to live with very small income. They know how to sleep even underneath a tree. They know how to live with very 2 or 3 spare clothes. They know how to sit in front of a tea shop and be joyful speaking. So that doesn't mean that solves the samsara problem. Bhagavan is not telling you don't learn, become an unlettered. It is impossible also for us, because we have already started the journey. Now it is just telling you, now you have started, you have learned. Now the purpose of learning is to find inner discipline. Simply, you should not insult learning, despise learning. Learning, we say, Saraswati, Divine Mother. So, learning should help you to cross the ocean of suffering. By learning only you can cross. By learning only you can cross you can cross this ocean of suffering. So first learn, then meditate, then absorb that knowledge, then find true peace within, become free. Don't use your learning simply to boast, or simply to get award, or simply to get recognition, certificate, name, fame, money. If you use it like that, then that learning is useless. That Bhagavan here makes fun about it, where he says, this kind of learning won't do. So, learning should, otherwise why should Bhagavan write all these works? Not simple language. Bhagavan's own works are very difficult language. Many. The only writings that is more difficult is Muruganar. So Bhagavan has written very, very precise, very, very mathematical Tamil. Many places, especially in uḷḷavar. So that is also learning. That is also very scholarly. No mistake in that. No error in meter or the way he has used the language. It is all so perfect. So learning Bhagavan is not despising. By learning, you should be able to turn your mind towards God. Sa vidya ya vimuktaye. That is vidya, that is knowledge which will bestow liberation. Tat karma yanna bandhaya. You should be able to do in such a way that you don't get bound. Get related in the world in such a way that you don't get bound. Act in such a way that you don't get bound. Learn in such a way that you will become free. Learning is an austerity. What we are doing here, it's an austerity. Every day sitting and taking one after the other the verses of Bhagavan or the scriptures and meditating on them, so that deep, more and more and more, we make the knowledge stable. After this, you go outside also, then you contemplate what you have heard. You contemplate inside till that knowledge becomes a jewel inside you. It shines like a diamond. It becomes power and austerity with you. Then the knowledge becomes great tapasya. This satsanga becomes, it's a jnana yajna. It is a sacrifice that we are doing. So this is kalvi. Katravar. In Tamil this is katravar. So we will continue tomorrow. Yato ma bhavasittu neva tato navachyam mama kinchidasti yathataveshtam kurumam tataiva tvam atmanatham ramanam bhajami.